Hello, people of the world that are beautiful. I am Static Dreads, and I'm joined with you in holy matrimony. Joined with you today with Bow Before Zog, Kelz with Kelz number 2, and strangely entertaining. Sometimes greatness comes by accident. And I believe that's what's going to happen today because we had a podcast topic and we are 4 working busy adults and we always don't get everything done that we're supposed to. So
life is hard.
Yes. So through that process, we are doing a topic discussion today, which I feel like will be fire flame and representative of a little more about us as people, content creators, and lovers of animation. So
suddenly I'm scared.
You should be. You should be scared of how great you are.
That's right. It is frightening. Let me tell you.
Your potential is limitless. But yeah. So today we are going to talk about how we individually judge animations and shows that we watch based on the scale of good, trash, decent, masterpiece, and all that. Because it pays to know what your close friends and family think about things. Like, for instance, if I view, Centaur World as trash and Strange will say it's okay, do those line up on our scales of, just what is what? So we're going to talk about that today. Yes, we are. So I think, do we want to
imagine much confusion?
Yes. So
what do you mean you don't like 86?
Will there be much debate though?
There will be. I mean, I feel like there will be debate, or not even really debate, but just like understanding. Like we will find, because I can't tell you your definition of a masterpiece is wrong, and you can't tell me mine is wrong. So there will be not really as much debating as much as understanding, and giving examples of those things. Like I just said, Centaur World for me is on the trash scale, but for you it could not be, and we both have to respect that about each other.
May there be constructive conversation.
Yes, constructive conversation all the time. Always. Like, always,
What do you mean, Centaur World is... I'm sorry.
On my scale, based on my scale.
How dare you?
So, do y'all want to start...
personality. I'm joking.
Do y'all want to start at the bottom and work our way up? Or do you want to start... Okay, cool. So...
Yes, that sounds perfect.
I'm going to go first. That way it doesn't sound like I'm calling one of you trash.
What is your definition of trash, Mr. Static? I would love to know.
So my definition of trash is something that falls short in aspects of storytelling, aspects of getting me involved, and aspects of overall enthrallment personally. I don't think trash means that it's completely lost as a story, like plot-wise. Like, I think there are shows that have complete plots that I consider trash. Like, I personally, for example, Tokyo Ghoul, Tokyo Ghoul Re. Let me stress that, the Re part, not the OG. Tokyo Ghoul Re, and then Tokyo Ghoul Re 2 whatever, to me, is trash. Like, the anime adaptation, because it falls short from what the manga was originally intended. It takes a lot of different curves and everything, and it also just kind of forces a bunch of stuff that happens that really doesn't make sense because the story kind of jumps perspectives. And I think Tokyo Ghoul had potential to be great, so I have to factor in that lost potential in there. Another prime example of something I consider trash is The Promised Neverland Season 2, because we literally had so much source material and so much that potential it had of being like a banger season 1, but we got a physical, like actual literal slideshow in season 2 that went past like 2 arcs worth of content. And that just seems like a blatant disregard for the source material, which is also another component that I deem is like trash. It's when you just throw out your like I wouldn't put Ruby, the later seasons of Ruby, as trash. I mean, okay, kind of. I kind of would, honestly. Honestly, yes. Okay, so Ruby is another good example for me of what I considered like trash, because the first 3 seasons of Ruby were very enjoyable for me. They were very true to overall vision that I felt that was displayed by the creator Monty and the people who worked on it. It's like a labor of love. But then when we started pandering to what fans wanted, I'm gonna get so roasted like on the internet. But when we started pandering to kind of like what fans wanted, to a point where we completely ignore like a character's development for sake of what the fans want, and start like rewriting or like imagining what characters are. It's like how J.K. Rowling was like, yeah, Hermione always could have been black. No, she couldn't. There was a clear description of what she looked like in the first book, and none of that was black. So I feel like when we do things like that, that's kind of how we get those, like, in my opinion, trash. Like, I joke that Boruto is trash. Boruto isn't actual trash, but
Really? From the way you always talk about Boruto, I never got the joking vibe from that.
It never came across as a joke.
You said, I
Boruto
want
is
to murder that boy.
Boruto isn't like, if I'm rating Boruto, which I'm not, even though I think I gave it a 5, but like, I'm not rating it in the aspect of like critical analysis, because it does have certain, I would give it like a mid 6. I would say it's like decent to like okay to decent, like decent being better than okay. I would say that's what I would give.
So
Boruto.
are you saying for like score wise, 5 and below is trash, or how does that work? Like if we're
I mean,
talking
on
like
my
a number
personal scale, 5 is like, so
Do you rock a 1 to 10, or do you rock like grade, like letter grades?
I prefer a letter grade, actually. Like, for the sake of like Annie listing those things, I use numbers. But me personally, if I'm giving things, I prefer like a letter grade, because that way I can be more like, you know, scrutinized with it. Like, and if I just kind of transfer that over to like a perfect 100 is a 10, a like great anime is a 9.5, or well, no, I would say like a great amazing is like a 9.5, and then a really good is a B, good / okay, a good is a C, and then a D is like anywhere from a low C to decent, and then
A D is you're gonna have to retake the course.
yeah, like I would give I don't really
watch.
watch.
Like, damn it, leave me alone.
I don't really like. I don't feel like I watch that many D's. I feel like most of the stuff I watch is either A, B, or like F. Because I've watched some like crappy anime, but I found like joy in them still. Like the
Sure.
But I would like a good example for. I feel like cartoons are more so like my like trash area, like trash below, like for like Squidbillies. Squidbillies is trash for me. Squidbillies is a solid F.
Like
Solid,
hard trash.
like hard
Like-
trash. Like I didn't like Bob's Burgers. I would also give that like a personal trash. But like Rick and Morty, I would give like a C. Like, and then King of the Hill gets a high B for me. I love King of the Hill. Same thing with Teen Titans.
All right.
Teen Titans gets A.
Do you cap out at A, or are you this Japan shit where you have S tier?
If I had an S tier, you know what it would be. So if I had an S tier, it would be off rankings of critically how it felt and how it resonated with me, and those 3 would probably be Fruits Baskets, Yu Yu Hakusho, maybe Digimon. But like,
I feel like Digimon's like one notch below. Like you say, like it was like high for you, but
yeah,
you've always put it like one down. Like it doesn't reach Fruits Baskets just quite.
yeah, I mean, like, yeah, Yu Yu Hakusho and Fruits Baskets are probably in my 2 S tiers. With like, but actually, okay, so Fruits Baskets, Bunny Girl Senpai, Yu Yu Hakusho are my S tiers, and Kaguya-sama might make a way into S tier, but those are my S tiers. Anyway, we're gonna get to those later, but yeah. So that's my definition of trash. Let's go to you, Zog, because you tend to be like the yin to my yang, or yang to my yin.
No, I'm very interested to hear Zog's position as well, where he stands upon the rocks of
I don't believe in ratings.
Zogdom.
Honestly, I do believe that ratings are kind of trash themselves, because you can enjoy trash.
Oh yeah, like
Just
I'm
because
saying, like,
something is super bad and you know it's garbage doesn't mean you can't enjoy it. Hell,
Sure.
I'll admit it. I've watched some episodes of Squidbillies that got me laughing.
Sure.
I actually enjoyed some of it. It's still an absolute garbage show that
Exactly.
99% of the time I'm gonna skip.
Exactly. Like,
So
like Fate
should
the
we
Wing Saga
separate-
is a perfect example of trash that I enjoy. Like, that is a perfect example.
That's fair.
Like,
That's
I
fair.
hate
was
it,
funny.
but it was entertaining.
Fate.
That
The
was-
Wig Saga.
Love that jacket.
That was a clean jacket, bro.
Only the best thing. I want that jacket.
I want a
But yeah,
wife just so I can buy that jacket for her and love
But-
her.
The thing that really like gets me is other people's reactions to it. Like when I see reviews and people rating things kind of weird. If it's something I'm not interested in, sometimes I'll need stuff like that to give me a reason to watch it or engage with it in any kind of a way. But if it's something that typically falls into the stuff I am interested in, if it catches me at the right time, I'm just jumping right in, and it's got the best chance in the world for me to become a fan.
so
But if the
Oh.
and as long as it's trying, as long as I can see that it's actually like putting forth the effort to be its own thing, to actually like tell its story and not just like be like anything else. Not just copy like somebody else's homework. Yeah, and it's fine. It's at least going to be okay to me, whether
I
I
feel
become
that.
a fan of it or not.
I feel that.
Yeah, it
Um,
falling short doesn't change any of that.
Yeah,
But-
like,
If I find too many comparisons to other things, I'm just like, oh yeah, but that did it better. Why
So
the hell
we
am I
can-
watching this?
we can only assume that one day Zog will watch something and it will be a conglomerate of everything he's ever seen before. And
So, like,
eventually he
all
will
be
implode
bullshit
upon
'cause he's seen-
himself. He'll
so like,
Yeah,
what?
man, I've seen all of these things before, and each individual show did it better. Why waste a single hour of my time? I could go watch all this shit myself.
So what's something you consider trash, dog? Like, whether it's enjoyable or not, what's something that you consider
like
trash?
irredeemable garbage. Why did I ever lay eyes upon it?
First thing that comes to my mind, Vampire Diaries.
Facts. How did I forget that? Facts.
You talking
Because it
Vampire
is-
Night?
Night. That's what it was.
Okay, yeah,
Vampire
yeah.
I knew what
Night,
you
that's
meant.
the show.
I gotta
Oh,
go. I
yeah.
gotta go.
Then we got Vampire Diaries did it better. Twilight did it better. Fucking Twilight did it better. How the
That hurts. Because Twilight was god awful. Like, I literally explained the plot to Twilight to my cousin because he was like, "Yo, I kind of want to see these movies." I was like, "No." He's like, "Well, explain to me. Explain to me, like, why I shouldn't see."
You
it." I
gotta
was
watch
like,
the
"Okay."
movies, then read the book.
I was like, "Listen, this girl who is like basic Jane, like, does not have and got nothing going for her, not even a personality." Has these two above average characters like fighting over her. One's a vampire and undead, and the other one's a werewolf. And yeah, so she chooses the gloomy one who stalks her, who's like, "I just want to be near you," and then punches a brick or something. And then she gets chased by all these famous vampires because of her ability to not be like coerced by vampires for some odd reason that's never explained through the series at all.
Because a vampire considered is important. That's the lesson of the books.
I mean, yeah, sure. But like, it's never explained why she isn't affected by other vampires' powers, like, at all. But anyway, so, and then I'm like, yeah, and then yada yada. So basically, the wolf and the vampire fight after her. She chooses the vampire. Then the wolf gets sad, but the wolf's like, whatever, I'll just love your child instead.
And the sequel is 50 Shades of Grey.
Ugh.
Yeah.
We
It
never
would have been
wanted
cool. It would have been cooler with vampires
It would have.
instead of like American Psycho.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, so like, okay.
That's exactly why I love Vampire Nights, because it's so bad.
You know what's
But
sad?
we'll talk about our comparison on it in a minute.
It's just really sad that I've watched Vampire Nights like 4 times. Like, it's horrible. Like,
I'm glad we did this on tape.
and I just like the scene that always gets me, no matter how many times I watch it. I know what's coming. I know the exact words every time. It still gets me. I'm like, huh? It's when she's like, I'm in love with my brother. I'm just like, I know that's coming. I know it's coming every time.
I'm cringing. Just,
I went and read the manga, y'all. I'm down bad. I went and read the manga.
Oh yeah, no, you committed. Don't.
It's because yo girl told me the manga was wilder than the anime.
Because it is.
And it was. My God, it was. Like,
man.
I feel like they got to put that in the schools, bro. Everybody got to read that. It's the new Slow Way Home or Huckleberry fan, bro.
Everyone needs to write a dissertation on it.
Instead of 1984 read Vampire.
DeSantis gonna write a bill to ban Vampire Nights from the schools.
Lord.
Don't say garlic.
Anyway. Don't say garlic.
Oh my God.
But they'll keep it in Alabama.
I mean, somebody's got to grow it. Anyways. But no, definitely. So we're still on the base level of trash, right?
Trash.
Okay. So one, I feel like me and Zog are on most of a vibe for our taste.
Mm-hmm.
Most of a vibe.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yes, absolutely Vampire Nights 1 and 2 are trash.
I forgot there was a second one.
Second one was the one she's
that
like,
bitch got a sequel.
Yeah. But the openings and endings hit.
I got you. Ah, no. Sorry.
And it's so bad that it is memorable. And that's kind of, for me, what I really enjoy. My metric for shows is not like necessarily critically, was the animation pristine? Was the story pacing exactly what it needed to be? But it was, what was my experience with this series? Did I have fun in some way or another? Did I glean some moment of joy in this hell that is existence from like investing time in this?
Where did this shit begin to shine?
Yeah. Yeah. Like, that's my metric for grading things that I consume.
No, I agree.
So trash, even trash that is, for me, memorable, like Vampire Nights. Trash is not necessarily like the worst thing. It's bad. It's not good. It's objectively not good.
Yeah.
But things that just don't speak to me in the slightest, I just cut off. And, why waste time to give it a judgment when I can go try other things
No, that's fair.
that could possibly bring?
No, that's 100% fair, because I do have a list on here that is like dropped anime, and I guess I would consider that my actual like trash, like worst watch.
Well, yeah, if you never finished it.
Yeah, like Sadarada Reset made no sense. Like, I
never finished that one either.
I was so I literally felt my brain turning in. I studied hiragana so it could make more sense, because I was like, maybe I'm missing something. So I wouldn't read it in the actual Japanese, because they're like, no, it's one of those things like the Monogatari series where you only really understand it if you understand the Japanese idioms. And then I went on Japanese Twitter and they didn't understand it either. So I was just like, all right, okay, no one understands it. And then there's also this one called Full Dive, the ultimate next gen full dive RPG is even shittier than real life. That was just completely.
Wow.
I got to episode 2 and I was like, nah, Chief, I'm out. But like there were some, like in Domestic Girlfriend, I gave that a 4.5. That's like, I think the lowest rated thing.
You know what's a hard sell for me?
Dragon Ball Broly. Bio Broly.
No, because we watched this. CG animation is a hard sell for me.
Really?
It is. There was a show that came out this season, to which that's a wonderful question. What show is it?
Yeah,
It
I
was
was
one
like,
of
which
these
one is-
magical girl robot shows.
Was it
It's
the
done
one that
in
you wanted to
CG.
check out or something? Like
It wasn't
we
Healer
went down
Girl.
the
You're
list.
talking about.
It wasn't Healer Girl. I
Okay.
fuck with Healer Girl. But no, it is an anime this season that is just ain't doing it for me. You know,
I mean,
I
let's
watched
see.
about 36 seconds and it was a CG girl in a robot suit, like a robot idol suit fighting a bunch of other inane robots. And man, yeah, no. You know, I sat through Berserk 2016 just because it was Berserk.
That's
you know,
at
you
least got a damn good story behind
Well,
it.
I was gonna say, what about Beastars? I know we watched that.
Beastars was fine. You know, it sticks out, but you get used to it, and you get used to it a lot quicker than you do in like Berserk 2016. Berserk 2016, you're just like, ugh. But after 2-3 episodes, it settles in, and you're like, all right, I'm here for this story. Just give it to me.
Yeah. No,
But
fair.
Beastars worked out a little bit more cohesively, and that's 5-6 years separation and growth in the CG market.
Yeah.
But this kind of discount CG, just nah, man. That's a hard stick for me. That's it's an easy go for me to call something trash if it's got poor CG.
That's fair. Like X-Arm.
I think X-Arm is universally hated.
No, or we'll
I
ride
think
for that
he's
series.
trolling with you.
I think he's broken.
Oh, it was Black Star Rock Shooter.
What in the world?
It has a cute girl on the front. That's apparently, yeah, but it's CG and it didn't do it for me. I'm like, you know what? Nah, not doing it.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel that.
Well-
I feel that. Horrible CG can just be detrimental. But Strange, what about you? What is your trash taste? You're
Okay.
the most. I look forward to hearing yours the most, honestly.
All right, you ready?
Just-
I'm about to open up. I'm about to tell you my life story and how I became the way I am.
When I was sick, they
Disconnect.
told me I was white and I
Disconnect.
got kicked out of school.
So, I'll be honest with you guys. If I hear a show or something is trash, I stay far away from it.
Yeah,
I
you still
try.
watch Centaur?
Hold on. Give me a minute.
Jeez.
Hold all
Sorry.
questions till the end of the explanation
you're right.
of
Go
things.
ahead. Go
Okay.
ahead.
I promise
All right.
nothing.
If I'm a little like Zog and Kelz, where if I don't find it very interesting, I also don't watch it. So, that's not to say I don't take into recommendations. When I am recommending something, I will eventually watch it at some point. But I just have such a huge backlog of everything, like games and media, to watch.
You have a backlog of a singular show that we give a fuck about.
That you guys know about. I'm talking about my personal backlog of things that I want
Fuck
to
your.
watch.
I apologize. My
It's
bad.
fine.
Your personal backlog is important, I suppose.
So, I recently started a thing. It was last year where I was like, I'm going to choose something that looks personally trash, and I'm going to watch it. Last year, there's plenty of isekais to watch that are trash. I, for some
Shield
reason,
Hero.
find myself liking isekais.
Bitch,
I
I
don't
will
know
come
what
for
it
you.
is. I don't know why I like it.
It's the escape from reality.
I chose the
Spider anime.
So
Spider?
I was reincarnated as a spider. So what? Watching it, having the expectation of going and thinking it was trash, it turned out to be not that bad actually. Which I'm kind of mad at. Granted, that was probably the worst thing in recent memory I have watched, only because of the human story going back and forth from like the main character, Spider Kumiko. If you see her, she's always in the background right there.
She's always watching.
She's always watching. Back and forth from the humans and her, completely derailed everything. In most recent memory, that's probably the most trash thing I have watched. But the way my personal scale for like trash kind of goes, I guess, is I'm a real sucker for having an ending. I want to see a conclusion.
Same.
If I do not see a conclusion,
closure, damn it.
Give me closure, please. If you do not give that to me, that is a pretty high detriment to any show, whether it be cartoons or Western animation or anime.
Same.
Happens a lot in anime, and therefore I have been burned a lot, and therefore I
just gotta wait like 10 years till the next season comes out.
Exactly.
No, I feel your pain. That's literally
it's
me.
just like
I'm like I'm having angers towards high school DxD because season 5 has been coming for the past 5 years, and I don't think we're ever gonna get it. But yeah, but I don't know, because we got things I never thought we would get either. But on that note, Strange,
like a part 3 of the final season of Attack on Titan.
I'm so done with Attack on Titan. I am. Anyway,
sometimes it's the ending that ruins it.
Yes, very much.
That too.
So.
That's why I feel like I can like fully judge like what something is. Like as soon like when I see the ending, I could feel like I can fully look at everything and be like, okay, was this worth my time of watching? Yes, no, but did I enjoy myself watching it? You know, it's like.
So I've jumped the gun, like once with that, and that just happens to be one of my favorite anime ever. So I'll say that for later down the road. But what you said, which here's where I disagree with the three of, or not disagree, but here's where my view is like kind of different from the rest of the group. I'm the type of person where you could tell me it's trash, like you got, and I'm going to use Eternals as an example. Like y'all told me not to watch Eternals; it was trash. My brain was like, how trash can this be? So I watched it with Kelz, and it was literally horrendous. And
it's
I almost,
awful.
I'm like, if I hadn't watched it on Disney Plus, if I had gone to theaters, I would have fought somebody on my way out because it was that bad. But there are shows where a lot of people like don't like them, like High School DxD, for example. Like I heard High School DxD was smut, like trash. Don't watch it. And because it was like etchy and all,
those are
like,
all reasons
sex.
to watch.
And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just like peep at it to see what it's about. And I fell in love with it.
Yeah,
it's like,
see what you did there.
Yeah, and I fell in love with it. It's like a really good series. And another one like that. It wasn't like so much like bad, but there was a lot of like stuff surrounding it, and that was Goblin Slayer. Like Goblin Slayer was like red band. Like because of like the scene that happened, and I was like, okay,
but didn't even like show anything.
But I messed with Goblin Slayer heavy though.
It's
like,
so graphic.
Like Goblin Slayer is good, and I'm waiting for season 2 of Goblin Slayer because that movie was also banging. But I also have a three episode rule for any anime that I watch. That's probably why I don't watch as much anime as I used to, because I have this 3 rule now. Like I will see things coming out that pique my interest because I watch previews a lot, and I will see like, okay, like SSSSS Gridman was another example. I was like, all right, the ending or the beginning started off really slow and it didn't make sense, but by episode like 3 it popped off. And the same thing with like Arcane. So granted, Arcane was not bad by any means from the first episode, but episode 3, as we can all agree, is when shit got fucking real in Arcane, and like, it jumped up that level.
Yeah, the second bundle of episodes is where it actually showed you, yeah, this is how shit's gonna go.
Yeah, and like,
but at least in the first couple episodes, it showed you like the potential of what was coming.
Yeah. Like I'm saying, like it's not the perfect example, but it is an example of like the 3 episode rule, where episode 3 can like change a series dramatically, whether even if it was just propelling it higher. Like Invincible, for example. Like I remember Invincible was good from the first episode, and then I mean, like the end of that episode was like everybody. It was the end of. Because a lot of people, I know a lot of people who just stopped watching Invincible halfway through the first episode because they're like, oh, it's just generic, it's just on that. And I was like, did you watch the end of that episode?
End credit scene for a reason.
Yeah. So,
fuck you, Marvel. I'm very salty about them because of Marvel.
I think that I'm on the same boat as you. Like, you know, my definition of trash may vary, or like my metric of quality, or not necessarily quality, but worth and value is based on my enjoyment of the experience, quality production wise notwithstanding. You know, the giving things a shot is definitely one of those where I am much more open to whatever it is.
Yeah.
Like Girls in Panzer comes to mind. Like
that one grew me. That one had to grow me, yeah.
Yeah, and that is a show that we experienced for what it's worth. It's very straightforward. It's schoolgirls and historically accurate tanks.
The movie was fire.
And that's the show.
Yes.
And it is a good time. If you want more than that, this ain't it. It's schoolgirls and historically accurate tanks with a plot that goes together.
Moms are mean in every anime.
But like I said, I don't take ratings super seriously and everything. Like,
Yeah.
even for example, if I were to rate something like Shield Hero, I'm thinking about shit kind of critically, so I'm probably call it like a B tier isekai anime that tackles some like problematic social issues. But my enjoyment of it, how I actually resonate with the show, how I enjoy it, this shit's in my top tier. Fucking love it.
About that, I like making lists. It's part of my Virgo tendencies, as I found out recently. So I make lists for fun sometimes, just to tell me what things to do and the yada yada yada. So I have compartmentalized my animes. I have a list of my top 10 critically and a list of my top 10 favorite. Like favorite and critically like are different from me. And the good example for that is like Fairy Tail. Fairy Tail critically is nowhere near like the level of fucking Fate Stay Night Heavensville. But I love them both as like two of my favorites. So that's how like I have things differentiated. Like, yeah, Fairy Tail again. Fairy Tail is not winning any awards at a film festival for anything, but the feelings that invoke
maybe the
like,
music.
Yeah, the musical. But like the feelings of found family and the themes of Fairy Tail is what propels it to be one of my favorites. Now, is it going to be something that I would like recommend to everyone is like a surefire? Because that's another thing. I also have animes that like I will recommend because I feel like no matter who you are, you will rock with this. Like, and one of those animes I feel like is a safe bet. With Zog is the asterisk, everybody. Like Zog
There's
is the
always
asterisk.
exceptions to the rule, and hello.
But like one of those that I feel like is safe to recommend to everybody to like is freaking Noragami. Like I've recommended Noragami to like everyone I know who watches anime. Literally no one has come back to me as like, oh, Static, I didn't like vibe with it or I didn't like it. Everybody's like, yo, this is a banger. When's season 3 coming out? Like,
And yeah, I wish season 3 would come out.
I think you were one of those people, Strange. I think I'll put you on Noragami.
No, I watched it, remember?
Did I put you on Noragami?
No.
Kelz?
You put me on.
Okay.
Origami.
Yeah, I was about to say.
I know I put you. I was like, I knew I put one of you and Zach on there. Like Zach was so mad. He was like, bruh, season 3 is gonna be so lit. I can't find season 3 on Hulu. Hey, I can't find season 3 on Crunchyroll. Hey, where season 3?
I think like Noragami would be an exception because, and I'll kind of tell you this myself. I'm going back to like this is what like my decent category is. My okay category.
Yes,
you
let's
know,
move on.
just
Let's
like
move on to your
yeah.
okay, decent. You can start that.
Yeah. Like the way I think, I'm not so extremist. Like, oh, that was a masterpiece. Oh, that was trash. Or oh, that was like
Calling me out.
I know. Well, no. Hold on. Maybe a little bit, but no. Like I'm one. Take me to a movie or any kind of show or just anything really. I can turn my brain off or or whatever, and I can just kind of watch it and be okay with it. I don't know how I got to be that way specifically, where I'm like, oh, that the way that character talks really takes me out of it. I really hate this now. I'm like, I don't really care. Sure, there might be a little annoying, but
You don't want to hate your life.
exactly.
That's the answer. You want to have a good time, which is a lot of kind of the basis of enjoyment. Is like, we're coming at this medium with the desire to not hate what the fuck we're spending time on.
I never.
So definite.
Hey, I ain't trying to hate anything, but you know I do.
we know you're not trying.
Like, I never form my opinion for an anime until I'm done with it. Like that's it.
Except for 3 episodes, and then
Except for 3 episodes.
Oh, okay. Like, well, I mean, like, until like if it's something in a setting, like I will.
Sure.
So
if
like
after
there's
3
some
episodes, I'm done with it. I'm done with it.
Well, yeah, the 3 episode rule like has literally failed very few times. Like I did not exactly like something, was it called, teasing Nagatoro-san or whatever, but I still watched it to
Please
the
don't
end.
Tease me, Nagatoro-san.
Yeah.
Please don't.
Like it was good, but it wasn't like, you know, it wasn't.
The crazy girl is like senpai.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
But I finished it, you know, and if like it fails the 3 episode test, it just means that I literally just I'm going to hate it. Like for example, like I said, that long rom-com or like Boruto. Like I tried to watch Boruto like 7 different. I think I've actually watched 40 episodes of Boruto, and I just
Yes, we have watched a number of episodes of Boruto.
I can't get into it, and
we just will continue to grind through it to reinforce your opinion.
Yeah, but like Strange, what did you say? Like a decent, like you said, okay. You never really actually said what one was for you.
Oh, right. So an anime or basically a cartoon. Okay. Most recent example would be Smiling Friends. It was decent. I had a good time with it. It was funny. I laughed. You know, it didn't make me cry or feel anything. Not that I really kind of equate feelings with how much I enjoy an anime. Like I kind of look at like, if I like really personally enjoyed, like, wow, that was like great. I liked the characters and the story, and it made me laugh, it made me cry, you know. But I don't focus in all on just feeling. But like, if I had to choose an anime that was okay from recent memory, I'm just trying to list off something we've watched recently, like anime wise, besides 86.
Slime.
Okay. I love Slime. Personally, I love Slime. It's an okay in my book. Like, I think it would be much better if maybe the pacing wasn't so weird at some parts. But again, I'll have to see kind of if or how it ends, and I can take a step back, like, wow, that was a little bit above average, but as it kind of sits right now, because it has not ended, it's kind of okay. I really enjoy it though, and I will watch every episode that comes out of it. But
yeah,
you know,
yeah. What about you, Kelz? What's like a decent okay for you?
My B-ish tier. An example would be like Boca Bantora.
Okay.
Off David Productions. Because of course.
Mm-hmm.
But no, this is definitely like a battle anime that is incredibly solid. Action is great. The plot is mostly there. The pacing is questionable. Always a lot of action, but like, what the fuck is going on? It's kind of always the question. So, you know, that would be a show that I would put in my okay tier. Really enjoyed the time I spent on it. We spend the first 3 or 4 episodes on a plot that is just immediately left behind by the bigger grand conspiracy. So, but I had a good time. So I would put Boca Bantora as one of my my okay.
All right.
Shows.
For me, I gotta go like an okay. For me, it's probably maybe like a C, like a it was watchable, but it was good, but I probably won't watch it again.
Yeah.
is what I do that as. Like, it was enjoyable, but I probably won't watch it again. And honestly, for that, I feel here's a weird one for me. Sword Art Online teeters for being like okay, good to like really enjoyable to me because it really depends on the actual season. Like, so like first 12 episodes,
I feel that sentiment from
I'm
much
like,
worse your opinion.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, cool. Second part, I'm like, yo, I don't give an absolute fudge nugget about this. And then season 2 as a whole, I could just do without, honestly. Like, yeah. I mean, okay, we saw Xenon, so it's like, that is like, Xenon is like my favorite character. So it's like, all right, I kind of have to take this for what it's worth, but like, they didn't have to mess with my emotions with the second half of that. And y'all know what I'm talking about. I'm like, wow, we got a Mediculoid out here. We're like,
the second half is what kind of made the second season good.
I mean, yeah, but like you can't go from Death Gun to just death. Like,
That's
you
a
can.
problem.
Like that transition was too polarizing for me. Like, it was just like, they had a whole ass funeral for her. Like, and I was just like, y'all, this is touching.
Who?
Yui, she died of AIDS.
What?
Yeah. Oh yeah, you haven't seen season 2. My bad.
No.
Never mind.
I've seen a bit of season 2.
No,
I know that Sion is a character, and that's his cousin.
My bad.
That's all I got.
My
I
bad.
didn't know Yui got computer AIDS.
Oh no. Okay, you're good. This is a real person, so you're good.
God damn.
Sorry, I mean, just okay. You know what? Anyway, so
All right. So to your point, for me, as cerebral as it was, I would put Monogatari in the same category.
yes, it was not something I would probably ever rewatch. It was a fun ride.
It was interesting.
Yeah.
It was insightful. It was incredibly well animated. And it was, fucking cinematic.
Yeah, like,
But we're going to make it through
mhm.
and probably never revisit it.
Yeah, like Land of Liddell is another one that goes in my head. Oh, another hot topic is Scum
that's
Swish.
actually a good. Oh, I'll say
Land
Land
of Liddell. Land of Liddell, like you were saying, Strange. That's an okay one for me. And Scum Swish is also like an okay one for me. But Scum Swish, I don't think I can rewatch that just for my emotional well-being, because I got called out in that anime with some of my toxic tendencies, and I was like, I don't want to play with you anymore.
You know what? I'm gonna take my ball and go home.
And like, I feel like Zog might be the only other person here who's seen Scum Swish, and I feel like he knows what character I'm talking about. But the female, you know who character, I was like, why were these words said to me? Why am I sad now? Closes computer, cries in bed.
Quarter 3.
I've already seen it. I don't have to watch it again. I'm up for that.
God damn it.
Yeah, we already watched a Happy Sugar Life. Can't hurt me anymore. So,
Oh, yeah.
but
We gotta.
Zog, what is like?
Challenge? Find one.
What's your decent like? Okay, like give it like what's like? Did I even explain mine? Oh yeah, something that I wouldn't rewatch, but I enjoyed. Yeah, that's probably
yeah.
okay. Yeah.
Decent and okay. I'll use like interchangeably depending on who I'm talking to.
Same.
But yeah, they're all basically like a. If I were to put grades to it, it's like a high D, low C kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's really just a show that cool. I spent time on that. I don't feel like I wasted my time, but I don't think I got anything out of it.
That's fair.
It's like cool. No reason to ever revisit this again. Yes, but if somebody brings it up, I will know what they were talking about. Time to move on.
100%. So we got two more. We got good and we got masterpiece. So let's just kind of like brush through good. 'Cause I feel like we all know good. I'll start. Like to me, Dragon Ball Z and My Hero Academia are two good examples of like good anime. Like something I feel like that'll get you hype. Something that like does have rewatchability, but like not like, because I mean, yeah, I would say like rewatchability and like moments that like trigger something for you. Like in both of those, like Dragon Ball Z. I still remember Vegeta's speech, like all of Vegeta's speeches. My Hero, like the whole "I want to be a hero." This might be a hot take for some of y'all, but Naruto is a good anime for me too. I know a lot of people started hating Naruto recently, and I'm not really sure. Like, I mean, I know why.
They got on my train.
Yeah, the Zog train. But like outside of those shonens, like Sound Euphonium is a really good anime for me. Like, and it's something that resonates with me because of like life experiences, like me being a band nerd for the longest time, and also like Kyoei Annie, like just animation style. It's beautiful. Like in the characters as well are really strong in it. So that's like a good example of it, or a example of a good anime for me. And like low key Konosuba too, because like Konosuba is like strong, good, high, decent.
I just wish we had another season. That's all.
We won't. I'm just kidding. Maybe we will. Who knows?
10 more years.
Yeah.
10 more years.
Oh, sorry. It's already been a couple of years. 8 more years.
Yeah. So, what about y'all? What are some examples of good anime?
For me, it's the memorable stuff.
I agree.
A lot to your point. Dragon Ball Z, it has its flaws, but it is unmistakably unique. Other major shonen, as you mentioned, Naruto Shippuden, Bleach hits that same vibe. For me, Black Clover hits that same Naruto vibe with some fantasy elements. But then equally in some other genres, I'm thinking like Angel Beats, Plastic Memories, the really impactful shit that like comes to mind.
Well,
like that's this tier for me. Yeah,
no, like you're spot on. Like I would say like Kill la Kill is another one I would say is good. I can't put Kill la Kill up there as like a masterpiece, but like Kill la Kill is like really good. Like I mean, I don't know, maybe Kill la Kill is like a great anime probably. Like it might teeter on great.
Yeah. This is definitely like A tier for me.
We're definitely we're entering the territory where like the lines are more or less blurred because of
like good and great are like good and great I can argue a good anime being great, and I can argue a great anime being good. Like for me, Hunter x Hunter is not quite like a masterpiece like it is for so many other people, but it's a great anime. Like, and it has good arcs, like strong characters. Like it's one of them. Like Inuyasha too, man. Inuyasha is just like fuck. I was talking to somebody today, like ironically, about like Inuyasha and just how like as I got older, I appreciate it more. And Keiko should have won. I'm sorry, Kagome, but like Keiko got hoed hard. So did Inuyasha.
Keiko.
Yeah, Kikyo. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, man, Keiko from Yu Yu Hakusho should have smashed. Like this is some fanfic from like 2000.
Keiko lives rent free in my mind. Okay, she is overall best girl. So, I'm sorry.
Fair enough.
Anyway.
Next to Sailor Mars, but yeah,
Venus. To each their own. It's subjective. Yeah.
R.I.P. Sailor Mercury. No one likes her. I love her because she's blue, but like no one's favorite is Sailor Mercury.
Who?
Who doesn't? Whose favorite is Sailor Mercury? You tell me right now. Who have you ever met in your life?
She might number 2.
Exactly. She's your number 1. I have never met anybody who's like Sailor Mercury is my number 1. Like, and it's okay because she's my number 2 as well.
I mean, the problem there
is
she's the smart one of the group in a series that you don't need a smart one.
I mean,
you very much sometimes do.
She's also low-key the motherly one because without her, they would be lost. But yeah, she's a solid number 2.
Yeah.
We'll have to talk about that one day. But so yeah, no, I agree with your good. Like the memorable shonens. What about you, Zog?
Good is like, okay, to me, with how you have this set up and everything, this is the broadest spectrum
Yeah.
category
For sure.
because basically with how I do it, it goes okay, decent, all right, kind of good, and then works its way up to yeah, damn good.
Yeah, no,
which
I mean
is
that's yeah.
which then would go to great, awesome, and work its way up from there.
Yeah, no, like
Definitely.
this is
Like,
everything. This is the gap between everything above like decent and okay, and
Yeah.
everything below masterpiece sits like
Like,
right here in this area.
this is
The
where
the
I
line, but
go ahead.
go ahead.
This is why I
The
mentioned
line between shit and not shit, the line between shit and not shit is very defined.
Yeah.
yeah.
From not shit onward to like opinion is a gradual fuzzy mess.
Yeah. I imagine this is like mid C, like a 75, all the way through like B, like up to the 90s.
Yeah, no,
for
I
an
would say
A
this
kinda
is
thing.
75 through 90. Like this is like the
So
Food Wars, like the
just-
like the Attack on
These are-
Titans. I said it.
these are the ones that even where it's like I'll say a show is good if it's like there's some quality to it. I can understand why somebody else might watch it, but it ain't for me.
Yeah.
All the way to, oh yeah, I watched this show like 6 times.
And honestly, like for me, there is an anime that falls in this category only because it's not finished. I feel like if it was finished, it would be a masterpiece for me, and that is Black Lagoon. Like Black Lagoon, like it's so good to me because of like the grittiness, the characters, like it's not something you see a lot in anime. You know, it's like about a black company who has to go and do the dirty work, but they're still technically the good guys. But in the world, there is no good
They're-
guys. So
They're mercenaries living in a world of crime, poverty, and all around fucking bad shit.
yeah, what a badass Russian. But so yeah, and just like that, like if Black Lagoon was finished, it would probably be in the masterpiece category for me. But the fact that it's probably on indefinite hiatus, just like puts that there for me. But like a weird one that's also like good that I feel like shouldn't be in the good category because some people could argue that it's like decent / trash is Freezing for me. Like Freezing, I rock with Freezing. Like I do. Like it is a lot of people's probably trash, but like for me it's just like this story, which again I think someone pointed out to me was just Evangelion, but I don't give a fuck because it's like
It's Evangelion with more frequent titties and less giant robots.
Woohoo!
yes. Unless shitty dads. So
Maybe. But I mean, yeah, statistically speaking, there's one really shitty dad in Evangelion. So if you have fewer shitty dad, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
But sure.
yeah. And Kelz or Strange, did you say yours?
I have not.
Okay.
So I'm actually going to have to backpedal just a little bit, move slime to good. Because, and
yeah,
then what is
you were
okay.
tripping when you said
Well,
decent, but
I know.
I was gonna let you say your piece. That
No,
was
no, no.
wrong.
What was the one anime with the magical mech knights where the dude gets reincarnated, makes like Gundam robots in a
IGPX?
medieval fantasy? No.
Okay.
Oh,
I can't
Hold
remember what it's
on.
called, but it's called like Magimech Knights or something or other.
man said Magimech Knight.
I don't know. I don't know
Tell,
what the
tell me
anime
more
is
about it.
with-
Tell me. Okay, so dude gets reincarnated.
Yes. He was an otaku. He built a bunch of Gundams, and then when he came to this world, he learned that they had magical robots, basically. They run off magic thing. And then he basically dedicates his entire life to learning how these things operate. So by the time he's like 8 years old or whatever, 12, he's like, I know how to build one from scratch, and I'm gonna make mine the best. And it was cool, but that was okay. I don't think it's
never
finished.
heard of
So
that.
I think we watched it. We did. This was like years ago, and
I remember it being a thing years ago. I never got around to watching it, so I don't know.
It's okay. It's truly okay. Like, it's cool.
Sure, it's not like a cartoon.
No, it's straight up anime.
Because I'm like, yeah, no, nothing screams giant magical robot in my brain.
It's okay. Static is looking for it. But yeah, I would move slime to good because slime is really cool. It's just not finished yet, so I can't call it a masterpiece. And I'm going to go ahead and talk about like my masterpiece, right?
Sure.
I mean, I will transition into that. Sorry. Another good anime for me would be like Madoka Magica. That's really good. It's like up there. It's almost a masterpiece, but there's just too much Madoka Magica to follow now. I don't know where to start or where to begin again. So, and that's that's good. Shaolin Showdown was pretty good growing up, looking back at some clips, it's still pretty funny. A little ahead of its time, funnily enough. Some of the jokes, I was like, wow, how progressive of them to talk about this kind of stuff back then. Did you find it? Static?
Yeah, it's called Knights and Magic, and I think I watched one episode of that. You're mad at what?
Wow, it didn't even get the 3 episode rule.
Yeah, it was so bad, but like
it wasn't that bad. It was okay.
Yeah, it was okay.
It was okay.
But what was your masterpiece you said? I missed. I'm sorry.
So a masterpiece to me can only be achieved when a series has finished a conclusion that is satisfying, at least to me. So if I had to say what, like, I had an example and it totally went away. Fairytale's close, but I know it's not like finished. Like if it would have left off there, I would have said like, yeah, it was pretty good.
It only gets better in the 100-Year Quest. So if you think it's a masterpiece now, I mean, you might as well. I'm not telling you how to live your life, but you might as well say it.
Give me some. I'm trying to think of examples. I had an example.
Full Metal Brotherhood.
Yes.
No, I've only seen the ending to that. I've never actually watched the whole series. So
you blasphemous bitch!
Wrong with you?
No, listen. I have told y'all this story forever ago. I've told you this story.
Again.
I don't think I was ever here when the story was told.
Late night on Toonami, and I was like, hey, look, Full Metal Alchemist. I'll watch that. That seems like a fun time. I'll start here because I actually want to watch it. Turns out it was the very final episode. I had no idea going the way. I'm like, wow, that was the ending.
It'd be your own self.
That's crazy. I didn't know.
It'd be you. It'd be only you.
I just wanted to watch it.
It'd be strangely entertaining.
This is the only time that's ever happened to me.
With one of the most prolific animes ever. What a time.
I know, right?
Did you finish?
It be JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Yeah. What did you? I don't know any anime that you finished, honestly.
Yeah, just name off, honestly.
Name prolific anime that's like really good. I've probably seen one of them.
Prolific
movies.
Well, those are movies.
The Devil is
movies can be masterpieces.
I know, you're right.
Your name I consider a masterpiece.
I'm sorry, I'm blanking so hard right now.
Fruits Basket.
He ain't watched Fruits Basket.
Give me something I haven't watched.
He said name
Samurai
masterpieces.
X. Rurouni Kenshin. Metabots. These are no.
I wouldn't call Metabots a masterpiece.
Disclaimer, I do not consider these masterpieces. I'm naming off anime I think you might have finished. Ultimate Muscle. Chaotic.
Did you ever watch the actual Hellsing, or did you just do the abridged one?
Futurama.
I just did the abridged, but that was funny. Just the
Family Guy.
I don't think he has seen anything else we consider masterpieces.
I'm
just naming stuff that I think he can finish. Yeah, Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yes, thank you. Finally, something. Yes, the original masterpiece. Love it to death. No, Trainwreck. First couple seasons is good.
Jimmy Neutron.
I wouldn't put Jimmy Neutron.
Oh, Teen Titans.
Teen Titans Go.
It was good. It was close. It didn't really end. Like, it left off on a cliffhanger.
If you don't count the last episode and you just ignore that and then make Big Trouble in Tokyo, whatever it's called, the ending.
Yeah, but I don't think
We got to do
can
some math,
fully
but
count
we
those.
got there.
So I will say, and I'm wearing this shirt actually. I don't know why I didn't think about it. Avatar: Last Airbender is a great example of what I personally would consider a masterpiece. It had great characters, music, story, animation was great.
And it was literal fire.
The ending was lit.
Literally.
Right. Enough about me.
What ending?
I took up way too much time just trying to
Okay.
remember a masterpiece.
Okay.
Like, but nothing recently has happened. That's what no recent shows or anything have like ended.
For you.
Well, if it was easy
For
to
me,
make a
yeah.
masterpiece, we'd be surrounded by them.
Yeah, for
I know.
you.
That's
For
it took me a hard
you.
time.
For you.
Yeah, for me.
Zog, what do you consider a masterpiece?
Barely
Ruby, right?
anything. Like, I don't like the term masterpiece at all.
Okay.
Because for one thing, when I hear that, I imagine something that everyone likes, everyone enjoys, that there is hardly any way to critique it, and I don't like that at all because there's nothing to talk about for it. There
See,
is
that's not
no
what I
discussion
consider.
that can be had, and there's very few opinions outside of, oh, it's great. Even with stuff like Avatar that is genuinely accepted as, oh, this is a masterpiece. Well, okay, I want to find things that people don't like about it then. I want to find something I don't like about it then.
What don't you like about Avatar?
Honestly, I'm still trying to find something. There is literally nothing about the series that I don't like, and not gonna lie, that's one thing that I'm just that's one like notch against it that I'm just like, oh, I'm trying to find something here.
Wait,
And that's part of that's part of the media engagement.
Yeah.
The reason you like partake and consume and engage with content is you want to not only understand the content but understand like how you tick in terms of like it as a frame of reference. Yeah.
Like
so, sorry, go ahead.
yeah, I mean like I don't really consider like Bleach a masterpiece at all in any sense of the word, but I can engage with that on basically every level and always find something new to talk about with it. I just can't always find people who want to talk about it.
Okay.
But yeah, that's fucking great. And for engagement with a show, that's the kind of shit I'm looking for.
No, I feel that. To me, a masterpiece is like something that I consider like personal, like something that like I don't believe that a masterpiece is like universally loved. For me, a masterpiece is something that resonated with me on levels that I felt like invoked and that I felt like it brought me to a sense that like not something can easily do. In terms of like cinematography, like voice design, or like there's a plethora of things that I have that check off there. And as we know, Fruits Baskets is a recent masterpiece of mine for the pure portrayal of characters that I feel like ascends just animation. Like this ascends anime. This is like a genre defying something that these characters felt like real humans. Like they felt like I resonated with them. Like the events were something that I could find myself in, despite being a world away or something that could never happen to me in a million years. I felt like I was a part of it. And also how everything kind of fit and blended together, as well as like the pacing, something that didn't feel too rushed and something that felt like would have me sometimes, in awe of watching an episode over. But then the next episode I can only watch once because I'm just like, holy shit, I need to let this like fester. And something that I could, like have a discussion about and feel like open to critique and things like that. And also something that makes me contemplate who I am as a person. Like that's, like I'm saying, that's not everyone's definition. That's my personal definition. And Yu Yu Hakusho is something I've considered a masterpiece ever since I was little, because it was one of the first anime I ever watched. But like, yes, like to me, Yusuke is a definition of for lack of a better word, to get too cheesy, is a definition of a man. Like to me, like, someone who stands up for himself, but also has power that does not use it to like belittle or berate someone. Like, you know, and I mean, he does the bad guys, but like, fuck them on Southside.
We've gone over this. Yusuke's an asshole. Like, there's no two ways about it. Yusuke's
he's a fucking thug.
A nice person.
But
he's a good man. He's not a nice person.
I mean, but to me, a good man isn't always a nice person, you know? Because, like, if I'm looking at some of my male model, I know a lot of people who would say, you know, my father and my uncles are not nice people because, you know, and like I would explain this to Zach the other day, and you're a good example, Kelz. I was gonna say a lot of people, like, we were just talking about how like a lot of people, you know, don't know you, so they judge you. But I know the Kelz who like has been there for me.
Who the fuck judging me? Who's but no, to your point, like definitely. It's a lot about who they are in the heat of battle.
Yeah.
And over the span of time, the consistency, the hustle, the principles, and not necessarily the friendliness and the reception.
Yeah.
That exactly defines a good person. Yes.
And like the characters in there too are like very well driven for a masterpiece to me. So like just like off the top of my head, like 3 that I feel like have come out, like Vinland Saga, even though it hasn't finished, is a masterpiece for me. Like the first 24 episodes of Vinland Saga went like absolutely crazy. And even though it's not finished, like I can already say that what I saw, like Finland, like Thorfinn's arc, like his whole thing, masterpiece. Like I said, Fruits Baskets, Bunny Girl Senpai. Like I know we have conflicting viewpoints on this, but Evangelion Thrice Upon a Time. That movie was a masterpiece for me. That movie was the way, and that was because of the ending. Like, we got the ending, the way it happened, one last kiss playing, like Mari in the water, my boy Shinji growing up. Like, sorry, spoilers, but like that was lit for me. Like, and Your Name was like fucking love that movie. And they all can be critiqued because they are critiquable. But yes, what are some of your masterpieces, if any?
Oh, God. Well, I mean, you've already said half of them. Because, you know, in the same way, I'm in the same vibe as Zog here. And what I'm looking for when I engage with media, I'm gauging all of this with the fun and enjoyment I have gleaned from the experience. Whatever the quality of the production, whatever the quality of the story you're writing, how good of a time did I have? You know, a lot of the same things fall in. The great shows, the masterpieces are the things that deliver animation-wise, plot-wise, pacing-wise, episode count. Because episode count for me, the amount of time I can invest in a show at this point in my life is critical. So, like, a show for me that screams like masterpiece is Bunny Girl Senpai. It feels like 4 succinct stories in 12 episodes, which is ludicrous to have that kind of pacing feel so succinct, along with the movie to finish out the story. Like, that screams masterpiece to me. Evangelion is this cornerstone of weird, crazy anime. And I get you on 3.0 plus 1.0 Thrice Upon a Time. You know, not necessarily exactly a masterpiece for me, because the rebuilds were an adventure, but, you know, that it was not necessarily my adventure.
Yeah.
But definitely Evangelion as a whole, as a concept.
Yeah, and that's what I like look at it as. It's like
for it to continue to then again tell another story. Like Evangelion as a series, front to back, OG and rebuilds, like, you just don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Except Hideki Anno did. And we get to see not only, you know, the struggle from like 1996 and his whole deal with depression and like existential crisis from, you know, way back when he was working for
Gainax.
He was working for Gainax, and then before that, during that, but when he was working for
Not Gundam,
What's
was
the
it?
big movie guy? Ghibli.
Yeah, Ghibli. Yeah.
He was working for the Ghibli on the show. He was
Hayao Miyazaki.
He was working for Miyazaki on a show. Like that was his directorial big hit.
Yeah.
And it, to watch and see this man's experience with the anime industry as time progresses, as you go through the slog of doing the work, and then you go through the slog of companies changing hands and brands changing hands and keeping the IP and hustling towards the betterment of your story, and that's still taking fucking forever. Yes, Evangelion is probably my number one masterpiece.
That's fair. I rock with that. 110%. Like, and one last thing I just wanted to add about like what I thought what I believe a definition is, because you can encapsulate it too. It's something that two people can look at something and take different things away from it. Like, I feel like that also constitutes like Evangelion. I'm sure we get different messages from it, but we both like enjoy it the same. So shout out Digimon. Didn't quite make it to the masterpiece list, but like, I love Digimon. Personal masterpiece, Digimon, Fairy Tail. Love them both.
Feel that.
Yes. And you all are masterpieces as well. I appreciate every single one of you. And if you appreciate this podcast, make sure you tune in to this podcast and other podcasts here on Content Breaker. Caleb, Zog, Kelz, I'm gonna let you handle the actual outro.
It's all your podcatchers. We're talking Spotify, Amazon Podcast, Apple Podcast, whatever podcatcher you prefer.
Mm-hmm.
At Content Breaker, or YouTube, Instagram, Twitter as well. Content Breaker. Gentlemen, y'all have shit too.
Find me at SagDreads on Twitter, where I see people trickling in. I see your follows. I appreciate you. We talking about One Piece. We talking about, Shield Hero and the Turtle and all that other stuff. So come on over. And unless you're Strange's wife, do not come over to my profile for One Piece spoilers and then get mad at me for posting One Piece spoilers.
Well, maybe she should catch up.
She's only 23 years behind.
She's only episode 143, like, what you got? Spanish homework? Get fucked.
She's only in 2003.
She made it a tenth of the way through. She's practically there.
Honestly, that's why I don't go to his Twitter. I'm never catching up.
What about you?
Strange.
Yeah.
Look for Strangely Entertaining on Twitter, and then look for Strangely Entertaining on YouTube. Twitch is kind of in a weird place right now, but I'll stream. I need a new schedule.
Cool.
With a Z, because he's cool.
Yep.
And of course, you can catch the other product for more weeb shit at Your Typical Shonen Protagonist on all your podcatchers, or Twitter as well at your TSP. Next week, we're definitely doing what we planned to do last week, which was...
Oh, we're doing what we planned to do this week? Next week?
Don't tip me with a good time.
Okay, so we're doing Death Parade next week?
Probably.
Oh,
Here,
okay.
on Content Breaker.